Happy Wednesday, everybody. We got a kind of jumbled around set of shows this week. So today we are doing our final 3 champion review of the original set.
Yes, we are.
Figured it'd be a little bit of a longer episode, so we're gonna throw it on Wednesday, and plus we didn't do it on Friday. And then on this upcoming Friday, we will be doing our draft segment that was suggested to us. So we're gonna hit that up on Friday.
Yep.
But today it's time to go over Tristana, TF, and Warwick.
I don't know about you guys, but like Tristana and the old Goomba Stomp, I still love that idea, even though I can't play this champion, and I'm excited to talk about
it. Before that, we are gonna go back and review the polls from 51 and 52 and the Q&A from 52.
All right.
The poll from episode 51 was, would you guys be interested in us doing a live stream of a patch rundown? 86% said yes. So I'd be down to do that. And next week is the massive durability patch.
Yes.
Maybe if Tyler and I can coordinate on that, maybe we can do it next week.
Absolutely.
For that. Of course, we'll record it as well, so it'll go up on Spotify, YouTube, whatever. But, if we're doing it live, then people can interact, ask questions,
right.
Or, maybe we don't understand something, which is something that happens quite often. Someone else can tell us. So we'll look at that and we'll let you guys know at least by Friday.
Yeah, and either way on that one too, we'll still record and release an audio
right
for you guys and video for those who aren't going to be able to make it, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yep. All right, let's move on to episode 52.
Episode 50 dose with a lot of questions and replies here.
Yeah, so our Q&A was, what champions are you currently playing, and what is your favorite play style? So, Captain Joshi, shout out, wrote in, said, currently playing carry junglers like Diana and Kayn. As for the playstyle, I'm an aggressive jungler, looking for early ganks or taking enemy camps objectives if I have vision of enemy jungler. Yeah, I think kind of what you got to do especially with Kayn.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to get up in their faces, and you got to get your stacks going so you can transform early on. I think Diana too since they changed Diana. For those people that don't know, her E and R got swapped. Mm-hmm. Like, was it last year?
Yeah,
I can't remember. Whatever.
I think it was last year.
So she's a little bit. She's more early game now. You usually had to wait till level 6 to get her fucking rush, but
right.
Yeah.
Captain Joshi, might I suggest you adding a Nidalee to that mix? Because if you're playing a carry jungler that wants to steal camps and play aggressively, Nidalee is perfect for that. Just a thought. Just a thought. Next we got Mayo. And Mayo said, off-meta support Nasus is my go-to, and I like Senna support too. And I'm going to stop right there before I continue. What the fuck does Nasus support look like? Is that just AP Nasus?
Yeah, LS has been doing it.
Oh my god.
Was doing it a lot.
Oh
Max,
god.
Emax, AP Nasus.
And then
EW,
and then use Max Q last, huh? And I assume you take...
you don't need to stack.
I assume you stack a little bit with like Relic Shield or whatever. Yeah, use Relic Shield in that one because he's going AP. Yeah. So I assume you stack a little bit with Relic Shield just to get those, but yeah, that's gross.
The E, let me see what Nasus E
shreds armor, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
I want to see what the AP scaling is on it though.
Oh, I have no idea, but I'm
60% AP.
Yeah, it's high enough for a support champion.
Base damage max is 215.
Ew.
And then reduces armor percentage.
Mayo also said, I also jungle and support with Zac. I like tankier champions, like the ones that go in and fuck shit up, like Volley and Shyvana. And that sounds like Dean's champion preference and champion.
Yeah, I love being like an initiator and just getting in there.
Yeah. See, I'm not good at that. I always initiate at the wrong time. So and then our poll, we asked if anybody was going to watch the upcoming League of Legends parody show, Players, and we had 11% of you say yes, 33% saying no, and the rest of us, and that includes myself, said that we want to watch it, but we don't want to pay to subscribe to Paramount Plus just for that.
I don't even know how much Paramount Plus is, but
like 10 to 15 a month, I think. It's very similar to everybody else.
Between, like we got Netflix, we got HBO Max, like there's already enough shit on there. I don't know.
Seriously.
Maybe I'm sure it'll be leaked online somewhere.
Probably.
Or if I also don't know if the show is gonna get released all at once or if it's gonna be like a weekly thing.
Right.
If it's released all at once and like Paramount Plus has like a 5-day trial, I'll just do that
Fuck
and
it.
then just cancel.
Right. So cool. That
So
answers the questions in the poll.
Let's get on to it then. We got 3 champions to go over.
Yeah,
We're
let's
gonna
waste
start-
absolutely no time. And we're going to start here with the old Tristana.
The Yordle Gunner. All right.
Remember her old model and how ugly that thing was?
Yeah, I'm looking at her splash.
Oh,
old splash
God,
art
stop
right now.
doing that. You're going to hurt yourself. Oh, it's so bad.
pretty-
What is that haircut? That's like a bowl cut with some stuff hanging off the back. What is going on there? New Tristana, they definitely figured that out, and
Of
this
course.
is much more aesthetically pleasing. She looks much more like in the original one, she looks like an elf, not really a Yordle.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Where now she actually looks like a cuddly little creature of her own, as opposed to just a blue elf. Tristana's got a very interesting kit, and don't listen to me on how to use it because I don't know how to use it. I just know people use it against me and fucking annihilate my titties. So I hate anytime I play against one. I don't know what to do against it. If I'm playing ADC, if I'm playing support, it's not that bad. But as an ADC, I have no idea how you're supposed to counter her. So I guess without further ado, we'll just get right into these abilities.
So yeah, we're looking at alpha
Oh,
for previous abilities.
yeah, alpha.
So not too much change, to be honest.
Really? Yeah,
She
yeah,
was she was the champion that got a whole like model rework that was, like we just said, much better.
Yes.
Not much has changed, but let's look at her previous abilities. Her W, I'm assuming this is before the jump.
Yeah, you're looking at draw a bead.
Yeah, draw a bead. Tristana aims much more carefully, increasing her attack speed, but slowing her movement speed. Huh.
Yeah, it looks...
That's-
It's like they try to make her a sniper? But I guess it's because Caitlyn didn't exist yet. So I guess that makes sense, but... It's just weird.
That's so not worth it. Like, sure, you're attacking faster, but you're slowing yourself?
Although, is that where they maybe got the idea for Kog'Maw's W? When they... He doesn't slow himself, but if he just stands in place, he shoots a lot faster.
I was thinking... Well, no, he doesn't get an attack speed steroid anymore.
Oh, that's right. They changed that out, but okay.
They reverted it.
Yeah, because
like
I
we were talking
realized that
about.
was stupid.
It's kind of reminds me of Urgot, because Urgot gets
That's true.
his W
There
and
you
it
go.
slows him.
There you go.
But Urgot's durable. He's a tank.
Right.
Bruiser, whatever. I don't know. That's a weird, very generic too.
I also,
like, oh, you attack quickly, but
I also find
So
it
obviously-
interesting that her original innate was detonating shot, which I can only assume, it doesn't say here, I can only assume it's just when you...
the passive on her E, right?
yeah, exactly. I can only assume that's
Okay.
what it was. But they used the same icon when they flipped it over and they swapped the W. So that when they moved draw a bead to her passive and changed it, and I think it hasn't changed even in her current iteration. It is still, as she levels, she gains range. For her basic attack.
I'm sorry. I misread this. I thought it said attack speed. No, you're absolutely right. It was Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw gets increased range.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that said increasing her attack speed.
Right. Well,
But
but the point I was drawing on that too is just like if Kog'Maw stands still, he attacks way faster, right? But if he's moving, it's harder because you have to orb walk while you're doing it. But if he stands still, he just becomes a turret who just rains
Sure.
artillery down. Which is where I was thinking they kind of got the idea. But then you made a good point about the Urgot thing too. So that's probably similar. Like, hey, we've had these skills before, guys. Let's reuse them. They're okay. They're not terrible. They just didn't work for this champion. But yeah, I thought that was interesting, moving detonating shot over from the passive over to the E passive with explosive shot and flipping that draw bead over and then changing it. They pretty much reworked the whole thing. They just said instead of slowing her movement speed, you're just going to get range as you level up, and I think that's fair. I mean, it's basic, but it's one of the basic abilities that still really makes sense in the game. You know what I mean?
what is her? Oh, I'm looking at her passive. Buster shot.
I didn't realize it
ready
was
for-
still called draw a bead.
So it goes up to 661 range.
Yep, based on level. Yep.
That's a very interesting number. 661. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I don't know.
So she is barely.
You build RFC
Better
on this champion anyway,
than a-
so that probably was changed at some point.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Obviously, her Buster shot has stayed the same. It has not changed at all. And yeah, so it looks like the May 1st, 2009 patches where they flopped everything. And she's pretty much the same. I mean, they changed her stuff. They changed the way explosive charge works. But
Yeah, that was probably one of the biggest
That
things
was-
they changed.
yeah, that's really it. I mean, and then obviously the way that rocket jump interacts with everything too, right? But that was super important to her kit as a new champion. Extremely important.
Yeah, so let's look at her old E, which is the
Gross.
passive is the same, where you destroy.
Yep.
Once you kill an enemy unit, there's a little bit of splash damage.
Yep.
But the active used to apply grievous wounds and then have a dot damage over 5 seconds. Was this where AP? Yeah,
Yep.
this must have been what it's
It's exactly it.
100% AP ratio. So you just fucking melt motherfuckers.
E, and I think her ulti, and I think it still does have 100% AP ratio on Buster Shot.
yeah.
Yes, it does. So that's where
Interesting.
AP came from.
This was such a. This is like
Generic.
the typical
Basic.
riot. Just we're gonna apply a dot for 5 seconds. I like the fact that it gave grievous wounds. That's nice.
Right. You didn't have a lot of stuff to give to get that with in the past. But yeah, everything else is pretty much the same. So let's hit these regular abilities. Obviously, we went over draw a bead.
Yep.
Obviously, rapid fire, guys. If you can't figure out what rapid fire does, I'd be a little confused. But it's just an attack speed steroid, 50 to 110%. 7 seconds it lasts, and it's on a fat cooldown. I mean, 20 to 16 is a pretty big cooldown. I did not realize it doesn't cost mana to use.
Yeah.
Also,
That's
nice. it does not refresh the buff, and if you level it up while it's active, it does not update that buff or change anything until you cast it again. I guess we move down to the old rocket jump, and I think we know what this one does as well, but this is probably the most core part of her kit.
Yeah.
Really decides how things are going to go based on how well you can use this ability, right? So
Her old rocket jump, did it still have the reset mechanic?
I
you
think
remember?
so. I think it did. I don't remember 100%, but I want to say it did. Because I think that was still, I'm pretty sure it still did. I think what they added to the rocket jump was jumping on someone who had the explosive charge with max stacks. And we'll get there.
Yeah.
What I didn't know is that this ability actually has a slow on it on impact.
Yeah, that's something.
Didn't realize that.
So that's why you want to jump right on their fucking head.
Yes, a Goomba Stomp.
Literally want to Goomba stomp.
Yeah, you Goomba Stomp in a very small radius, a 350 unit radius. It's pretty small. It does have a quarter-second cast time, which is important to note because if you're being pulled by a Blitzcrank, he may pull you, but your jump still goes off. Very similar to Ezreal. It is pretty broken. There's a lot of things that still go off. As long as it's buffed, you will still jump unless you're in like a Poppy
Yeah.
Steadfast Presence or anything that actually stops you, grounds you. I don't think she can jump if Miasma goes down. I could be wrong.
No.
And same thing with the Singed Glue, whatever it's called. I don't remember what it's called. But jumping on somebody who has an explosive charge bomb on them is how you do the damages, as they say. And obviously it gets the reset. If you get a takedown, it fully resets and you can jump again. But
Yeah, so like she's like when we're gonna we'll slowly bleed into the explosive charge,
Right.
but like she's like one of the few 80 carries maybe you can tell me another one that can just like all in you at level 3. If she could even do it at 2. I mean, you take Hail of Blades just to stack the. You get the quick pop 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 on the explosive charge. You could all in level 2.
I think, and so I've been thinking about this, and I know she takes Halo Blades often, and I want to say part of the reason of taking Halo Blades is to get to that, just to be able to use the other things in the red tree, right? Ultimate Hunter is good. Even out of combat movement speed is good for her. But I'm looking at like, is it Sudden Impact? The one that counts if you use like a dash and you get the lethality for 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's good too.
That's super important for a champion that's not building penetration like that. She may build like a Last Whisper or something, but to get that early lethality early on in the game is actually game wrecking, because the other ADC is not going to have a cloth armor. So you're going to be able to really hit the shit out of them with that. I think that's why it's extremely important. Hail of Blades is cool because it helps you stay in that red tree, but I think having the red tree itself is actually integral to what she wants to do.
So yeah, you get hit with that explosive charge.
Dude, fuck that.
Each stack, 30% extra damage up to a total of 120.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's
thing.
a lot of fucking damage at early levels, and you're gonna, I mean, countless times you're not gonna expect it. That's happened to me.
Yes.
You just get popped, and you're dead.
To answer your question about, oh sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say it doesn't even matter. She's gonna jump you under turret, one shot you, and then jump back out.
Yeah, seriously. I was gonna say, to answer your question about any other ADC that might be able to 100 to 0 you at level 3, the only other one I could think of is like Lucian.
Okay.
But even then, I think Tristana's 100 to 0 is more bursty.
Burst damage.
Yeah, it's far more bursty.
Yeah.
Lucian has to stay on you and cast all of his abilities skillfully. If he's smart, he's dashed in, got the double shot to help with the reset on the dash, and then he's casting his abilities and getting the Light Slinger double shot. But it takes a lot longer for him to do that, and you really have to be overextended. You don't have to be overextended for Tristana to just annihilate your asshole in 2 seconds. It's disgusting.
And then finally, I think Buster Shots, yeah, we agreed it's exactly the same.
Yes. I don't know. The damage may have been changed or tweaked a little bit, in the knockback distance I think is the same. I don't know if it used to stun all other enemies around the target. That may have been added, but for the most part, it's the same ability. It hasn't really changed. I don't think there's anything else to add to that. Although I know that Buster Shot's disgusting. If you can get an explosive charge on someone's head, jump behind them, Buster Shot them under your tower, and then just wail on them till that charge explodes. Let's say 100 to 0 somebody at level 6. Beyond that, I think that's it for Tristana, guys.
Yeah, we're done with Tristana, and really quick before we get into TF, we're going to take a break. All right, it's time. I was going to say it's high noon, but wrong fucking game.
You should have just said pick a card. But that's okay.
TF.
God, that really just made me want to play McCree, and that's Overwatch.
Overwatch 2?
Yeah.
Overwatch 2 is coming out.
Yeah, what is the difference of that game? That's the side topic. Let's not go there.
I don't know. We're going to wait because League of Legends 2 is going to come out. Don't worry.
Right. So, Twisted Fate,
TF.
or as he was commonly referred to during the beta stage, and I think Season 1, Cardmaster. He's the only champion I know that actually has been referred to as his title more often than his character's name. I don't think there's another champion that's been referred to as their title like that, Like there's, if you find old videos, or you can even find new videos of old Twisted Fate, people still refer to him as Cardmaster. Even the champion Spotlight with Freak refers to him as Cardmaster, which I always thought was weird. It actually says Twisted Fate. And for a long time, I thought his name was actually Cardmaster and that it got changed. But he's always been Twisted Fate. And he's, for a long time, went by Cardmaster. I just find that absolutely bizarre.
All right, let's look at his previous abilities.
I was going to say...
he's got a few changes here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted to start with his passive, just with his current passive and his old passive, because I find this rather interesting. I didn't know this, and it's because I didn't play the game when Old Twisted Fate was available. It keeps the same name, Loaded Dice. Currently, every time Twisted Fate kills an enemy, and that includes minions, he gains 1 to 6 gold based on probability, but the chance of gaining 6 gold is higher because the die are loaded. His old one I find interesting. While Twisted Fate is alive, he and his allies receive an additional 2 gold per unit kill. That's global. I find that part really interesting because Avarice Blade also existed at this time.
Now let's go back even further to
With Ash?
his first fucking passive, where he granted his allies bonus critical strike chance.
Yeah, excuse me, but what?
Which I'm assuming was global too.
Yes. I don't think he had to be. Oh my god. This champion
What does it have
was often known as being the most broken champion in the game, and was so OP that he was just universally banned in competitive play. And this is even in beta, guys. There was competitive play in beta, and yeah, this champion was often not allowed to be played.
I just want to know what the fuck critical strike chance has to do with a fucking card player.
So let me try to
go.
explain this. And part of this, I think, you have to be familiar with Gambit from X-Men. Gambit always knows the cards that are coming, right? He knows what cards are on top of the deck. It's why he's a great gambler, because he knows what's in the opponent's hand. I think that this is supposed to be kind of like a take on that. Like, oh, I know this opponent, so I'm going to be able to hit them with a critical strike more often. It kind of ties into like a D&D of being able to strike at advantage. So I think that's where it comes from. That's taking a long shot. But considering this champion is a straight rip off of Gambit, I don't think it's too far of a long shot. I don't know. What do you think?
That's probably better than anything I could come up with. So
I mean,
I'll take it.
I mean, Gambit was like a French. Was he? Yeah, he's a Frenchman. Remy Lebeau. Clearly, and I think he was from New Orleans, so he had a southern accent to him. If you ever listen to Twisted Fate talk, he's got the southern drawl, and it just really reminds me of Gambit. Even though, like, the cartoons I grew up with, Gambit, he didn't really have too much of a southern drawl, but it's, I don't know, he's just a straight rip off that character, I guess, is the best way to put it.
So let's move on to, actually, no, hold on. We were talking about this before we started recording. Before we move on to his first incarnation of his Q, do we want to talk about or question what exhaustion was?
Yeah, that's actually my question.
So
for
if
the
you're
week.
not watching the YouTube video, his icon, it doesn't even say,
It doesn't say what it was.
passive, what it was, but there's just a little icon of a guy kind of like in a fetal position, like sleeping. See that little Z's?
Yeah.
And it just says exhaustion.
Yeah, it almost looks like it could have been the exhaust summoner spell before it was a summoner, but I've only seen it on Twisted Fate's page, and a quick Google search didn't come up with anything. So I'm hoping maybe there's an old head here who's been playing this game for longer than I have. I'm assuming this was maybe pre-alpha.
Yeah.
Maybe someone could shed some light. I don't know. I wonder if it tells us who created this champion, and I would be curious to know if we could get a hold of that person, just figure out what that is. I'll see if I can't find out who created that, and see if I can't come up with an answer by next episode. I'm curious to know, though. What do you guys think it is?
Yeah, let us write in. Question for the week. If you played the game, or if you didn't play the game, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you
Is
think?
it just one of his abilities? It gets an exhaust?
Yeah,
What do you think? Let us know what you
great
guys
fucking
think.
question.
We have no fucking idea. All right, let's look at his first Q.
Seal Fate.
Upon activation, Twisted Fate reveals the cursed fate of the target enemy, dealing them damage over time for the duration or until the target kills an enemy unit. What?
Yeah, it sounds like a point and click where you're just dealing a dot. You know what it reminds me of was Old Swain, the crow that just point and click dot
Okay.
damage.
Well, this says it keeps dealing damage until the
Right.
enemy kills a fucking minion. So if that guy just stands there,
You're just dying. You're just dying.
the fuck?
That's
It's a,
OP.
assuming it was a point. I'm assuming it was a point and click.
Yeah, I would assume so. It has to be. Upon activation, he reveals the cursed fate of the target enemy. So yeah, I feel like if it's a target enemy, it sounds like point and click to me. That obviously got changed because either that was broken or it was stupid as fuck. And they brought up Sealed Fate 2.0. Upon activation, Twisted Fate draws a powerful card from his deck, dealing damage to the target enemy and silencing them for a short duration. So again, a point and click, similar to what sounds like pick a card, except it's a silence. And that's fucking stupid because this game had a lot of dumb fucking silences.
Yeah, we were talking about that. There's not too many left.
No, because that's a broken ass mechanic.
And finally, the only other ability that had a description was his first
Gate.
Gate, which is going to sound very familiar, but upon activation, Twisted Fate channels for a short duration and blinks to the target location. Global.
Yes.
Does not say it's restricted by range.
It was not restricted by range. You could, I don't know if it got range based on rank, but you could actually, I think, and maybe it didn't. Either it did or didn't. Either level 1 or level 6, you could teleport into the enemy fountain and commit Sudoku.
It's like a gangplank alt anywhere.
Yeah.
That's broken.
Yeah, now it's what I would call semi-global because you have to be within a certain amount of units, obviously, but it's still pretty wide. But that was his E, by the way. That was a basic ability, not his ultimate, basic ability.
Do you ever find out what did his old R do?
Yes, I was watching a video. His old R, I believe. I'll send you the video, and I don't know.
Bring it up.
Yeah, I don't want to get claimed for it, but I don't think we will.
Destiny is the bow on the Cardmaster package. It's a global snare that reveals all enemy champions, including those stealth ones like Eve, Shaco, and Twitch, and it halves the channel on your gate. You should use Destiny to gank junglers, to chase stragglers, to initiate team fights, to run, and even to gank defensively. Keep in mind that using Destiny reveals your position to the enemy team, so try not to get killed with it.
And then we get to his new Q, which is like his current Q, which hasn't changed because it's a beautiful, beautiful ability. Where Twisted Fate unleashes 3 cards in a cone in the target direction, doing magic damage to all enemies they pass through. You can only be damaged once by wild cards, so that's something to be noted. But that is the quintessential Twisted Fate ability. Like, hey, I need to clear some of these minions, let me throw a card. And a lot of times, if you're playing like an ARAM, it's very easy to get kills with like an errant Q that you just throw one out and someone walks into one of the side ones, you know? You're not really aiming with those. You're aiming with the middle card and hoping you get extra with the side cards.
This is, I think there's few abilities like this, and the only other one I can think of is Ezreal's ult, which I think it was last year got changed. It does max damage no matter how many units it goes through.
Does Ezreal's ult not drop damage anymore?
No, I believe it doesn't. It does 100% damage no matter how many targets it passes through.
I gotta look that up.
I think that got changed.
You might be right.
But no, yeah, TF ult is, or Q. I mean, it's kind of like, I think like Zed shurikens, like you take less damage if it's gone through a target already. So his wave clear is already insane with his Q.
Yeah. And you are right with Ezreal. They did take that off, but they did add that minions and non-epic monsters take 50% reduced damage.
Damn. Okay.
Yes, the other skill that's similar to this is Ashe's Volley, except Ashe's Volley doesn't go through everything. But similar type of skill with the cone. Ashe's Volley used to be dodgeable. If you got in between the arrows, it is no longer dodgeable, I don't think. I don't think they spread far enough for a unit to fit in between them. But yes, this is like the wave clear ability. And then you get to pick a card, which was also ported from his original kit. This one didn't change other than the effects of each card, except for the blue card. The blue card always did the most damage and gave mana. The old red card was a AoE snare, by the way. Could also be dodged. And the old gold card, what it did, it wasn't an AoE stun. It was, shoot, I just watched a video on that. And I don't remember what it did. It could not be dodged, but it had an AoE damage added to it, but you could not miss. Currently, the red card deals magic damage at a cone and adds a slow. I think it's 30 to 50% on the scaling, depending on the level of the ability. And the gold card, which he is famous for, the flash gold card, is the stun. It's not a snare, it's a full-on stun, which means it interrupts anybody who's channeling. Great against a Karthus. And does not allow that champion to cast other abilities, attack, or anything like that until the stun is over. It is short, however. It is 1 to 2 seconds, depending on rank. Quintessential if you're playing AD Twisted Fate. You just pop them with that and hit them with the attack speed, and you can pretty much 100 to 0 anybody about level 13, I believe.
Moving on to his E, which is, again, very, very straightforward. Gains attack speed passively, and at 3 stacks, his next basic attack, every 4 attacks, his auto attack deals bonus damage.
And this is why AD Twisted Fate actually works.
Yeah, the on hit, you hit the gold card, they're stunned for 2 seconds, and you just wail on them with auto attacks.
Yeah, and back in the day, he was a Bork user. You would, I don't think you rushed Blade. But it's pretty fucking gross, actually. It's still pretty gross, but it's not nearly as good as it once was, even though they added the rapid fire cannon, and that's actually like a core item for him now, even if you're building AP Twisted Fate, because that long range stun is fucking important.
And finally, Destiny. We already went over his old E used to be basically this, except I think the more important thing about this ability is that it gives true sight.
Yes.
That is really fucking good. You don't even have to use the teleport. You just activate it and be like, oh, look, there's everybody on the map. They cannot hide from you.
Wait, it does not give true sight. It just gives sight. It says summons an
No,
eyeball above each and all targetable enemy champions for a few seconds, revealing them for the duration.
Mouse over revealing.
Does it say true sight? Okay. But does that
It's true
work?
sight.
Okay.
It's true sight.
Okay.
Um,
Does not bypass
yeah.
near sight, though. Good to note.
and then one thing I didn't know on the second part where he actually channels teleport, it destroys all projectiles.
I had no idea.
I'm like, what does this mean?
That means that if someone's like Morgana is throwing a stun, nah.
So like if he's snared and then teleports, it gets rid of it.
Well, it would have to be if it's coming in at him. So if it's on the way to hit him, it would act like a wind wall.
So I'm saying the following abilities perform 1 or more projectile popping events. Most abilities and effects that grant untargetability pop projectiles when the unit gains the status effect. So Master Yi's Alpha Strike?
Yeah, maybe.
I'd have to test this.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Right. I did not realize the skill cannot be interrupted. No, that doesn't make sense.
No,
I'm looking at the chart. It says the following table refers to interactions while Twisted Fate is channeling. It's a channel. He can't attack. He can use pick a card. He cannot use wild cards. He can't move. All other item actives are usable, except for Rocket Belt, Gale Force, Everfrost, Prowler's Claw, Stridebreaker, Iron Spike Whip, and Gore Drinker. It's interrupted by Stopwatch and Hourglass items. Consumables are usable. Spells, he can't use, obviously. He can't use any of the summoners. And it can't be it says, interrupted by NA. And then underneath it says interrupted by death, grounding effects, immobilizing effects, and cast inhibiting effects.
It says you can't use spells while doing Destiny?
The only one that you can use is pick a card.
Alright, okay.
But they call that an ability. I don't know. What's the difference between a spell and ability? Someone explain that to me.
Don't fucking know.
I'm confused. Trying to cast a disabled active will buffer it to cast at the completion of the channel. Oh, so you can actually land an Everfrost immediately and then gold card. So that's a thing. Yeah, this champion's still really good. However, if you do not understand how to play macro, you will never do anything with this champion.
Yeah, this is hit level 6 and leave your lane or gank it everywhere else.
If you're
You gotta be proactive.
Yeah, if you're a mid player, you need to know how to play this champion because he's generally always relevant. He may not be the most relevant. There may be better champions out there, but he always has somewhere to fit just because of his kit. As basic as his E is and as basic as his passive is, his kit is loaded in the W and for sure the ulti. So that's why you didn't hear us complaining about the simplicity of some of the other skills, right? Just like Tristana, we didn't complain about the simplicity of her skills either. They're very simple and straightforward, but they're loaded in what they could do, you know?
Right.
And how you can use them. Unlike other champions, like Cassiopeia's passive. Other than that,
TF,
I don't... Oh!
like TF,
I was going to say...
TF might have be one of my favorite skins, which is Pax TF.
Oh, yeah, Pax TF is so good.
Never gonna get it again.
I know. Damn it, I just look at it like it's so good. The other thing I wanted to note, and I don't think it says it on here, but it's kind of like, I guess it's well known, but it's kind of an Easter egg in his ulti. When you cast Destiny, if you mouse over it, the skill actually changes to Gate. Just to mirror what the teleportation does from his old kit. So technically the ulti is Destiny/Gate. But I don't think they call it that anymore. I think it just shows as Destiny.
Yeah.
And then another fun fact about that, Gate, the player from Korea, I believe, named himself after the ability. Other than that, I think... Oh, and then obviously High Noon TF. Awesome fucking skin. I wish they would update it like the rest, but awesome fucking skin. Learn how to play this champion. He's great. He's awesome. He's got the best dance, too.
Oh, Gangnam Style?
The Gangnam Style horse gallop. And he was the first one to actually laugh during his dance, too. Or not really laugh, but I guess the first one to make noise like that during his dance.
Yeah.
But...
Love it. We love it. All right, moving on to number 3, Warwick, which is definitely the biggest one.
This is the biggest one because he's had the most amount of changes. Obviously, TF was, like, dumbass fucking broken. And Tristana has been good, and she's had, her changes, and I was thinking she had more changes, but I guess not. Warwick,
no, obviously Warwick's gotten a full VGU.
Yeah, the whole thing. VGU,
Gameplay,
everything update. Like, I don't even know what you call it, but like a full-on rework, a full-on everything. So, take it away, dude.
All right, let's see. We're going to start with his old abilities. I only remember 2 things from his old abilities, which is obviously his ult and then his W. But let's start it up. Old passive, Eternal Thirst. Warwick's basic attacks deal 3 to 16 based on level. That sucks. That's like no fucking damage.
Garbage.
Bonus magic damage, healing him for the same amount, stacks up to 3 times. There you go. I see this is a reoccurring thing where I don't read. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't read. So it stacks.
We have a really bad problem with reading the first sentence going, that fucking sucks. But even then, 3 stacked up to 3 times for 9 damage is fucking hot garbage, dude. That's fucking hot garbage. God. I don't care who you are. That's fucking hot garbage.
No, 48 at whatever. Yeah, that's
still hot
that's
garbage.
Okay. Looking at his current passive, which I can't remember what the fuck it is. Okay, here we go. He's
Eternal Hunger. Oh, it's got Eternal Thirst to Eternal Hunger. Okay, okay.
So it's very similar. He still gets on hit damage. Is it still all magic damage? Oh, it scales off bonus AD
It is
and
magic
AP.
damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then while below 50% HP, he heals for 100% of post mitigation damage. And then that is increased to 250% while below 25% maximum. Did you know that?
Yes.
That he heals that much?
I only knew that. I didn't know it was post mitigation. I only knew that from having played the few games I've played with him. I'm awful with this champion, but I just know that when he gets really low, he just starts healing like a motherfucker. And
He kind of reminds me of the new Olaf changes.
yes, very similar. And he attacks at the speed of a motherfucker too, and he's really low. That's what makes him a good jungler. Is like, yeah, just go take red buff. You don't even need to smite it at level 1. You really don't even need a leash, because you can leash yourself with your own fucking healing and attack speed. He kind of wants to get down low and then heal back up. He wants to stay between 50 and 25% health while fighting. He doesn't want to initiate that way, obviously, but when he gets low like that, he just starts pumping fucking damage, and you really have to bite his wounds.
You trying to fucking you're trying to duel or fight 1v1 with like a Warwick. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm almost killed him, and then he just heals back up. So
he just eats your asshole, your whole asshole, and then you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, you just go to bed that night without an asshole.
You become Kim Jong Il, or Kim Jong Un.
Rand really liked that one. She's laughing.
Good.
All right, you told me about his old Q.
Oh, Hungering Strike. I think I played old Warwick like twice, and he was around for a long time while we played this game. By the way, he was around for like another 2 years after we started playing this game. So,
can I say she's still laughing?
Kim Jong Warwick?
No, she's laughing at going to bed without an asshole.
Hungering Strike. Active. Warwick swipes at the target enemy, dealing magic damage and healing himself for 80% of the 80% of the damage dealt. The minimum magic damage he could deal was 75 to 275 at 100% AP scale.
Holy shit.
Against enemy champions, Hungering Strike's base damage changes to the highest between the flat value or percentage of the target's maximum health. Wow. So,
okay, explain it to me, because I'm trying to...
If you use it on a champion, so obviously this was something that you're supposed to use in the jungle to stay healed up, kind of like Nunu's Consume.
Okay.
But if you use it on a champion, that base amount, which was 75 to 275 plus 100% AP, changes, and so it's gonna pick an option. What's higher? Are you gonna get higher from the base amount, which is the flat value, or are you gonna get a percentage of the target's max health? So if you're fighting, Zach, who stacks health, you're probably gonna deal more damage because it's gonna be based on the max health as compared to if you're fighting, I don't know, Vayne. I
wish it would tell me what the percentage is of the max health.
I wonder if it says here in the details. No additional details. JK. Damn. Interesting to note though.
It's pretty OP.
Yeah, it just makes him a little bit better into tanks. It just gives him a little bit more damage, but like realistically, you're probably not looking at that much more. Like a tank is probably still going to be able to withstand that, but it just helps you scale. This was before like cut down and passives like Giant Slayer existed.
All right, so you want to move over to his current Q, because I believe it's very similar.
Yeah, except it's got a fuck ton more on it. Jesus fucking Christ. So, active. Warwick bites the target enemy after 0.264 second delay, dealing them 120% AD plus 100% AP scaling, magic damage, and bonus magic damage equal to a percentage of the target's maximum health. So this said, to hell with, scaling or whatever, you're just going to do a percentage of their max health in addition to the scaling that's here, but you have no base damage on it. Equal to a percentage of the target's max health, with the latter being capped against monsters. Warwick heals for a portion of the total post-mitigation damage dealt by the ability. The bonus magic damage scales from 6 to 10% of the target's max health. The capped bonus damage is 100 to 200, and the healing percentage is 30 to 90% at max rank.
So think about that with his current passive where he heals while he's low. This guy is just auto attacking you, and then he Qs you. He's gonna be almost.
He jumps
He's
on
gonna
you.
like stupid healing.
Let's continue. While Jaws of the
keep
Beast is in effect, Warwick is immune to displacements and sticks to his target following their position anywhere on the map. Additionally, the ability can be held for additional effects. So just throwing that out there, you can't knock him back. You can stun him. You can't knock him back. You can't knock him up. Yeah, I think a knock-up's a displacement.
Yeah.
So the only option you have is to stun or snare. If you just tap the Q, Warwick lunges at his target. If you hold the Q, Warwick performs the bite and the lunge as usual, then begins to charge for a half second, during which he leaps behind his target. The duration is extended if the target is under the effect of a dash or displacement.
Yeah, if you've ever seen clips, if someone's teleporting and if you're playing Warwick and you time it, he will follow you across the map.
That's actually disgusting. I never knew that.
Or of course, have you seen flashes? Like
I've
if
seen
you
the
flash,
flashes and I've seen the blinks and dashes and stuff. But
yeah, it's pretty gross.
That's pretty fucking disgusting. Interesting skill though. It's got a lot to say. Even like when you just click the details tab, there's a shit ton of things on here.
Yeah, I believe it should apply on hit effects as well. I think because it works with Sunder.
It is an on hit, I believe.
So the heal from Sunderer is gonna get applied to this as well.
Yes.
And the bonus damage.
Yeah,
it's you heal a lot with just this and his passive already. Like it's only gonna get worse.
Yep.
I'm surprised his champion is not played in pro play. I think he just maybe. I don't know. What's the best way to stop a Warwick?
Stun. I mean, so you can't stop his Q with the displacement, but you can stop his ulti with the displacement, and we'll get there. But I think that's important. I think the ulti is actually really important to who he is. It's kind of like,
isn't it?
It's kind of like why Malzahar is not played in pro really either.
Isn't he? Oh wait, you can't stop him. It says he's. Sorry, we'll get to his ult, but
no, once he lands, then you just knock his ass back.
Okay, not during the cast. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Let's back it up then. Okay, moving on to his W, Hunter's Call, his old W. For 6 seconds, Warwick gains bonus attack speed, granting half the bonus to all allies. I don't remember it giving it to allies.
I don't remember much of what it did, so
Just gives them attack speed.
it's a pretty basic ability, guys. I think
It's like a old
lot,
Nunu Blood Boil.
Yep.
Just giving you attack speed.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember you just clear the jungle so fucking quick. I'm gonna hit W and boop 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 boop.
You remember how goofy his old model was too? Like it just ran like a fucking dork. Like I don't even know how else to put it. It just ran like a dork. His old splash art was okay. It wasn't terrible, but like the way the model moved was just dorky. I don't know how else to put it. Actually, the old China splash art is far creepier, far more menacing and sinister than the NA one. Until you get to his second splash art. But and then Grey Warwick.
Everyone's favorite skin to get out of a fucking honor orb or whatever.
Yeah.
Honor token.
Yeah, right. And then Earth the Manatee, that was a good one.
I love that skin.
That's a good skin. And the original splash art's pretty good too. Like it's goofy looking, but it's perfect. Obviously, Big Bad Warwick is great.
Yeah, he's got some good skins.
He does.
Looking at we'll get to his let me see. Fucking love what's the Mad Max one? I can't remember.
Is it Vandal?
Called. No. Well, it's on his new one. We'll get that in a second.
Is it Hyena? Is Hyena part of that?
Yeah, it's Hyena.
Which is
Hyena Warwick.
Yeah, it's
he's
basically
Mad Max.
Vandal.
Fucking great.
It is. It is.
He literally quotes. We're getting off topic a little bit. He quotes fucking from Mad Max Fury Road.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's like, "What a day, what a lovely day," and like, it's fucking sick. It's his laugh in that skin, perfect. He's literally laughing like a hyena. So
that is awesome.
It's a good skin. All right. Anyway, so his old W, very generic, just attack speed steroid. New W, and this is probably my favorite part of this rework because he's a werewolf and he's like, you actually feel like you're being hunted
Right.
during the game. The whole aesthetic, and this is probably why he's my favorite rework. He's so. Do you remember when the cinematic came out where he's like
Oh, it was
chasing those people through Zon?
Yeah, it was
it's
so
so
good.
like haunting and creepy and like it's great. It's like it's perfect. This is probably one of the in my opinion, my favorite rework, and it's absolutely perfect. They have not changed that much about him since he got reworked.
Yeah, and I thoroughly enjoyed the canister on his back. I thought that was fucking genius.
Oh, Arcane Season 2, baby. He's coming.
Yup.
All right, so passively, he senses all enemies around the map who are damaged below 50% HP. It can get kind of annoying sometimes because if you're playing him, you'll just hear him howl.
Yeah.
And like it just constantly, but you get a fuck ton of movement speed. So
It's nice if you chase that trail, absolutely.
yeah, the bonuses are increased to so let's see, making them a blood hunt and gaining bonuses against them. We'll get to the bonuses in a second. And of course, if they're below 20% HP, it's going up to 250%.
It's just fucking ridiculous.
He just zooms across the map.
I just want you
And-
to understand, guys, the bonus attack speed at a base is 70 to 110%.
250%
When
that gets
when they're below 50% and when they're at 20%, I don't even know what 250% is of 110, but or of 110%, that's a percentage on a percentage. It makes me want to shit my brains out to think about that, but that's way too fucking much. Like he's going to annihilate your asshole and you're going to go to bed without an asshole.
The other thing to know is the attack speed steroid you get from low targets works on jungle monsters.
Yes.
So if you are doing Baron,
Yes.
you are going to get a lot of attack speed as you are melting that thing.
An absolute shit ton.
And then if the target is a champion, you get bonus movement speed, which scales from 35% to 55%. And again, 250% if they're below 20% HP. And then Warwick Trail leading, there's little blood hunted blood trails around the map that will lead you to them. And on top of the bonus movement speed, it lasts. The bonus is lost for half a second upon entering combat. Okay, I didn't know that with an enemy champion, but will build up again over the next 3.5 seconds. Okay, so it kind of gives a target a hot second to run away if they can.
Right.
But I don't think they're going to get away from him.
Just a quick note, I did find the increased attack speed. It goes 175 to 275%.
So that's against 20%
Yes.
health?
Yes.
That's a lot.
And-
That's so fucking much.
And the move speed at base is 35 to 55%. It goes to 87.5 to 137.5% move speed. So
100, you're getting 100. Just think about that.
yeah.
So like you can use that to your advantage too. Like you don't have to chase. Like imagine you're on blue side, and your bot laner like chunked out their laner,
Right.
that you're their enemy ADC. They're at 20% HP. Guess what? You're gonna run to Krugs in like 2 seconds.
It's actually fucking
As long as you're
ridiculous.
running in that direction.
Yep.
You could just move around the map like that.
Yep. That's what makes him so potent as a jungler. He's all about speed.
And of course, and that's just the passive.
Yep.
Actively senses all nearby targets or enemies within a large radius and marks the nearest champion with Blood Hunt, regardless of their HP. So it's not global, but it's a pretty good range, and you'll get the max. You'll get the first. I don't think you don't get the 250%.
No, but you get
the
bonus.
whatever the current.
That's still fucking ridiculous.
So you max this ability first.
Yes.
See, because you want the level 1. Listen, level 1 attack speed is 70%.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
That's a lot
Yep.
against low target.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
And then let's see. This ability cannot be cast for 3 seconds after entering combat with an enemy champion. Additionally, while no enemies are currently being blood hunted, the current cooldown is reduced by 1 second each. So it's 2 seconds because the cooldown is insane. 120 seconds at level 1. But if you are, if it's not, if there's no one on the map that is low and being blood hunted, it goes down by 2 seconds.
Oh, that's good.
That's what it means. It's reduced by 1 second.
That's good.
So
That's good.
yeah, it's again. This is like, oh god, I fucking love this ability.
There is a correction, so I click on the little details tab. There is a correction. The in-game description incorrectly states that the bonuses are tripled against enemies below 20% health.
Oh, okay.
And this
I definitely have seen that.
This showed on Eternal Hunger as well, but they fixed Eternal Hunger. They did not fix Blood Hunt. So just something to note.
Yeah, 250% is not triple.
You can also detect and target decoys with this ability. So your Shakos and your LeBlancs can trick Warwick.
Alrighty, let's why don't you tell me about his old E and his current E?
Let's see. His old E. That was Blood Scent, right? Okay, that is Blood Scent. I'm like, wait, am I getting that right? Warwick gains sight of all nearby enemy champions below 50% max health, alerting them to his presence. Warwick gains bonus movement speed when revealing enemies with Blood Scent. Pretty straightforward,
wow, that was
guys.
a toggle?
Yeah, I do remember it being a toggle, but it did tell people where you were. So it wasn't that broken because it did give up your position.
Did it reveal you on the map?
I don't know if it revealed you on the map, but it would. I'd have to go back and look, honestly. I don't recall.
But it let the enemy know that, oh, this guy sees me.
Yep. And you knew you were being hunted, kind of like Kindred hitting her passive.
And it's his normal sight. This is not true sight. So if you're invisible, you won't be shown.
Right. Pretty straightforward. His current E is not quite as straightforward, but it's not terrible. Not a whole lot going on, but it's still more than obviously his old one. Primal Howl, the active. Warwick gains damage reduction for up to 2.5 seconds. The Primal Howl can be recast after 1 second and does so automatically after 2.5 seconds, which is its full duration. Upon recast, Warwick howls, ending Primal Howl's effects and causing all nearby enemies to flee with fear from him for 1 second and becomes slowed by 90% for the same duration. So pretty standard, kind of like Fiddlesticks drops the ulti and he scares people with the fear. Same thing. Same thing with the fear. Starting Infinite Duress's channel while Primal Howl is active will initiate the recast without ending the damage reduction buff prematurely. Did not know that. So you can actually fear somebody and still take reduced damage if you use the ulti. So you got that going for him.
Up to 55% damage reduction. Fucking disgusting.
He needs
35
that
and 55.
when people are trying to jump on him and steal Baron away. You pop that damage reduction. You get that fear. You smite the Baron. You ulti some asshole. And, you know.
And you go to sleep without an
exactly.
asshole.
That guy has to go to sleep without a butthole, guys. Just.
What a fucking terrible night to have.
Terrible fate. What was that Black Dahlia murder song? What a terrible night for.
What a horrible night to have a curse.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's a curse.
Rest in peace, Trevor.
Rest in peace, Trevor Strand. Yeah. Also, interesting to note, the recast has a half-second lockout time, and it will cancel a basic attack. It will also automatically recast if he enters Resurrection. The initial cast and the manual recast count as activations for Spellblade, and they also count for Cassidin stacking Force Pulse. Did not know that.
No, I love this ability. It just gives him way more durability in fights. It just makes him deceptively tanky. Like he could. I mean, you're gonna build more bruiserish,
right?
Like like Sunderer, maybe Titanic Hydra, but like
definitely
with all the health.
Sterix Gauge for sure.
Yeah. I think he has high base damage.
He does have high base damage.
So it's like he's very tanky.
Yes,
is the best thing I can say.
He's hard to kill,
and he's very hard to kill, and he has a lot of sustain. There was a period of time where people were playing top lane Warwick with Grasp of the Undying.
Ugh.
You can't kill that dude.
Ugh.
It's really gross.
I don't even know what you take on him now.
Press the attack.
Oh yeah, that's right. You get the 3-hit pop and then the damage. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then like I think you could take Blue Tree second with with water walking and celerity, just give more movement speed.
Yep. Oh, one last thing to
Z-
note on the W. I didn't see this originally. It says if the ability is not manually recasted, the secondary effect will trigger without being considered as an ability activation. So will not proc Spellblade if you don't manually recast it. So that is actually good to know, because you could actually start casting it, hit somebody, let it go all the way out, and cast it again, and then your Spellblade cooldown, I think, depending on what item you have, may be back up. And depending on what other things you have, you might be able to reduce it low enough for your Spellblade to be back up and get an extra pop of damage.
Right.
Something to note. Other than that, dude, bring us through the blood and butter. Jesus fucking Christ, that
blood and butter. Okay.
whatever, the bread and blood of his skill now, because it replaced butter with
Yeah.
blood.
I had no idea it kept the same name. That's
Is it still
interesting.
called
Infinite
Infinite Duress? Yeah, it is. It's a good fucking name, honestly.
Love
Like
it.
that sounds so fucking sinister. Like, yeah.
And again, like when the trailer for his rework came out, and like you just see him like jump through the air at you, and it's like, man,
Yeah.
oh god, I love that fucking cinematic.
It's so good.
So let's see, I do remember this one. His old alt, he blinks to the front of the target enemy champion
broken.
and channels for 1.5 second, point and click, gaining 30% lifesteal for the duration, dealing magic damage 5 times.
Yep.
Each applies on hit effects and suppressing the target for 1.5 seconds. 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, what the fuck is 1.8? Maybe they just rounded up from 1 3/4.
I just remember you just be like, oh, I'm running away from a war. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Like you just point and click R's you, and he just magically teleports. It used to be so funny, dude.
It didn't make any sense. It actually didn't make any sense, and I'm glad they changed it, because it has no continuity with this kit.
I mean, it didn't do jack shit for damage though.
No.
Oh, I guess it stacks 5 times. Just kidding.
Yeah, but the point of it was the suppression, like Malzahar. The point of it is to stop them from what the fuck they're doing. It's not about the damage.
Moving on to his current R, which is again way better.
Much.
It's a skill shot. He leaps in the target duration, and he is immune to crowd control. If Warwick collides with an enemy champion, he stops and knocks them down and channel. I had no idea he knocks them down.
I didn't realize that.
Huh. I thought he just okay. And then channels for 1.5 seconds, suppresses them, revealing them and dealing the magic damage every quarter second.
Okay, I had to understand what knockdown is. Okay, knockdown only affects units that are performing a dash or being displaced by an airborne effect.
Oh, right. So if someone's up in the air,
Yeah, you
like
just
a
bring them on the
Tristana
ground. That
jump,
makes
you
sense.
can interrupt it.
Okay.
Got it. Magic damage, 175 to 525, 160% bonus scaling AD. And then of course, Warwick is healed for 100% of all post mitigation. How many abilities does this dude have that heals him?
I don't know. Are you gonna build grievous wounds when you see Warwick on the map?
Nope, because my teammates don't know what the fuck that is.
Right. You only need about
and then,
3
of
people
course-
to build it, but fucking build the goddamn items.
And then, of course, of that, it applies on hit effects and what's on attack. On attack refers to various instances that are triggered by the user when they finish their attack windup.
Headshot, Zealous, Ginsu's. Okay.
Okay.
You don't.
And affects 3 times.
That makes sense. Okay, on hit versus on attack. On hit means you actually have to hit. On attack means your abilities do not have to hit to still proc those.
Okay.
So Jax, for example.
And that stacks 3 times, and lifesteal both at 100% effectiveness.
Jesus fucking Christ. It does a massive amount of damage too. It's actually a really, really strong
It's
ability.
so fucking strong, dude. Like,
You just have to be able to hit it.
I guess the one thing that doesn't, maybe it's in details, but the faster you're running, the further you can go.
So it says it on the top under range. It's 250% of your movement speed is your distance.
Got it. Okay. Missed that.
No, I didn't. I was
200%.
looking for it here too. I'm like, where is it? It's got to be in here, but it's not in the description. It's just in the range.
I've seen, especially like in Earth,
Oh,
Warwick, well, if he misses your target, you just see this blur fly past you, and it's the funniest shit, dude.
That's why I like playing Zillion with Warwick, actually. Because you give him that
Speed
boost,
up.
and if you're playing Shorelia Zillion, you really give him that boost, and he's gonna fucking land on somebody.
So yeah, like think about it. Like if you're chasing down your target, you're getting your what's the W passive?
Blood Hunt,
55. What do we say? It was 138% when
if they're
it's
below.
against 20%,
Yep.
and then that's 250% of whatever that movement speed is.
And then he gets Zilly zonked.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
It's pretty gross. It says
I love it.
Infinite Duress covers Warwick's hitbox, meaning he will collide with enemy champions that are particularly close to him. You can cleanse it. But so this is interesting. Cleansing the suppression does not interrupt the channel, and Warwick will continue to strike, but not deal any damage.
Yep, same thing with like Malzahar's suppression.
Yes.
It's
I thought Malzahar's
It stays-
suppression. I thought you take the damage from Malzahar if you cleanse it, though. You just cleanse the suppression. This one, you don't take damage from Warwick. So, yeah, it says Infinite Duress is a special case to have its channel interrupted by Fate's Call, which is the ulti from Callista.
okay.
Let's see. If the target is crowd control immune or protected by spell shield, so think like Gwen or Sivir or anybody that gets a black shield, upon collision, Warwick will not start the channel. That is also interesting because he does not get a cooldown refund on that either. I don't think there's anything else to note. Pretty straightforward. Oh, he can cast Primal Howl while dashing?
Yep.
Oh, I did not know that.
There's no cast time
Yeah.
for his
Wow.
E.
Wow.
That's what I say. Starting Infinite Duress channel with Primal Howl is active will initiate the recast without ending the damage reduction buff prematurely too.
Wow.
So he's gonna be able to fly across the map and hit you and take the reduced damage as long as he casted it.
Yeah, that's fucking gross.
It's great. He's like he's built differently. I don't know.
Okay, Tyler won. I'm built different. Yeah, no, this champion definitely is badass. I mean, I suck at him, but I thoroughly enjoy his aesthetic. He's got some of the cooler skins in the game as well. I mean, obviously there's Grey Warwick, which whatever. But like Earth the Manatee, dude. And then Earthwick. Well, I guess they renamed it to Earthwick.
Yeah, see, okay. Maybe I should keep this for the Monday episode, but yeah, I don't understand the difference.
Yeah, I'd have to actually let me look at the client and
Because I remember what happened when I had my 250 blue essence, 250k.
Yeah.
I wanted to get, or 150k. I wanted to get this skin, and then I guess I got one and did not realize that there's two of the same.
let's see. Yeah, oh yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
Earth the Manatee. And
They look the
then
same, right?
They do, but I don't see. Oh wait, there's Earthwick. Yeah, what the
The
fuck?
only thing I can think of is Earthwick, which is the newer one, was like a legacy, this is.
Oh, you can't
'cause
buy. Yeah, you can't buy Earth the Manatee.
Yeah, it says it's uneligible for loot too.
Yep. So that's why. Yeah, they just remade it, kind of like Neopacks.
That's so.
But that's dumb because
so
it's the same splash art.
stupid. So
It
confusing.
should be like they should have changed something about it, but I don't see anything different in the splash arts.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Oh, I do see something different.
What?
In Earth the Manatee, he's got olive branches on his head.
Oh, you're right.
That's literally the only difference.
Wow.
That was the beginning of the prestige skins, guys. This is where it
Oh
fucking
my
started.
God.
Holy shit. We've come full fucking circle.
Holy shit.
Oh man.
Well, guys, that does it for the original 20.
Yeah, guys, I hope this episode's not too long for you. I do apologize. There is some rambling, but there is some fun stuff. This might be one of the most interesting episodes.
For sure.
And yeah, even if we could just get the audio out of the video I sent you, that would be
Yeah.
awesome for the Twisted Fate video. But yeah, for my suggestion for the poll would be, what's your favorite of the original champions?
I like it.
Because I don't think we've asked that. I think we wanted to wait till the end till we got through all the originals to hear what
let us know
favorite is.
out of these 20. Or I guess it should be the question. I don't think we can put that many champions.
Oh yeah, maybe that's a better question. But we
What's
had
your favorite
exhaustion.
of the original
but,
20?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I like that better. And then a poll.
Did you ever play any of these champions prior to rework?
Okay, I like that one.
Cool, guys.
Guys, I know this is normally these are Friday episodes, but we're doing it. This is Wednesday because we had again we explained last Friday. And then this Friday we will do our draft.
And then we will explain how we are going to move forward with the remaining champions on the roster. And there are a lot of them, so it's going to take a while.
Yep. And of course, next week, big patch.
Big patch.
We're gonna try to see if perhaps maybe I guess we'd have to do it Tuesday when the notes come out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out and we'll let you guys know. But other than that, thanks for listening. Have a man, it's Wednesday. And yeah, guys, enjoy your week and we'll see you on Friday.
Later, guys.